And Chinese Vice Premier Ding Xuexiang met with Kazakhstan's first Deputy Prime Minister Roman Sklyar in Beijing. Both the nations laid emphasis on strengthening bilateral ties. Here is a detailed report.
Chinese Vice Premier Ding Xuexiang met Kazakhstan's first Deputy Prime Minister Roman Sklyar in Beijing. Both the leaders co-chaired the 12th meeting of the China-Kazakhstan Cooperation Committee, focusing on deepening practical cooperation. The meeting focused on strengthening the diplomatic ties between Beijing and Astana, and further consolidate political mutual trust and synergize the development strategies. Chinese Vice Premier Ding made 4 big suggestions for future work, including deepening the high-quality Belt and Road cooperation. Kazakh Deputy Prime Minister Sklyar also laid emphasis on Kazakhstan's bilateral ties with Beijing and said that Astana stands ready to work with Beijing to fully leverage bilateral cooperation mechanisms. During the meeting, Deputy Prime Minister Sklyar also ensured the effective implementation of Beijing's Belt and Road cooperation projects. Post the meeting, both Ding and Sklyar jointly signed the cooperation documents and pacts between China and Kazakhstan.
And tensions in Gaza have reached a breaking point. Israel has intensified its military offensive, killing more than 436 Palestinians in one of the deadliest attacks in recent months. Israeli Defense Minister Israel Katz has now warned that this is just the beginning, vowing to even more aggressive action if Hamas does not bow down. Watch our report to know more on this.
After killing more than 436 Palestinians in one of its deadliest ground offenses, in a brazen alert, Israeli Defense Minister Israel Katz stated that the Wednesday attack was just the beginning of what is to follow.
תקיפת חיל האוויר נגד מחבלי החמאס הייתה רק הצעד הראשון. ההמשך יהיה קשה בהרבה, ואתם תשלמו את מלוא המחיר. בקרוב יתחיל שוב פינוי האוכלוסייה מאזורי הקרבות. אם לא ישוחררו כל החטופים הישראלים והחמאס לא יסולק מעזה, ישראל תפעל בעוצמות שעוד לא הכרתם.
Doubling down on Trump's warning, Katz asked Palestinians to evacuate Gaza or else suffer the consequences.
קבלו את הצעת נשיא ארצות הברית. תחזירו את החטופים ותסלקו את החמאס, ויפתחו לכם אופציות אחרות, כולל יציאה למקומות אחרים בעולם למי שירצה. האלטרנטיבה היא הרס וחורבן מוחלט.
The warning comes as Israeli troops could be seen regaining force within the buffer and combat zones of the Gaza corridor. The resumption of fighting launched by Israel has now plunged the region back into an all-out war. The Palestinian representative to the Arab League has now called for sanctions against Israel.
أيضا كان هناك مطالبة لمجلس الأمن وللمنظمات الدولية بتجميد مشاركة إسرائيل باعتبارها دولة غير محبة للسلام، باعتبارها تنتهك بشكل ممنهج ميثاق الأمم المتحدة وتستمر بجريمة الإبادة الجماعية، تجميد مشاركتها في الجمعية العامة للأمم المتحدة.
Following the suit, Jordan's King Abdullah II condemned Israel's actions and called upon the international community to push to restore the ceasefire.
As you had pointed out, Israel's resumption of its attacks on Gaza is an extremely dangerous step that adds further devastation to an already dire humanitarian situation. The international community must act immediately and collectively push for restoring the ceasefire and the implementation of its phases.
But it's not just Palestine's allies that are condemning the brutal attacks. Thousands of Israelis gathered in front of Netanyahu's residence to oppose the government's resumption of war against Gaza. The deadly 18-March attack saw the deaths of over 400 Palestinians, of whom 130 were children and 94 were women. The strikes even led to the death of a UN staffer deployed in the region.